son? What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. The Panthers on the prowl. We'll continue driving down the field to the red zone. We just got a first down and 10. Smitty on the loose, wide open Ted again. Stack 6 more on the board, looking like a win. With the 6-game winning streak, put them out their misery. Brady wanna cry when the ref threw the penalty. Panthers got a hot team, Patriots the enemy. Draw the first blood, different team than we used to be. Cam swerving through the traffic, signaling a first down. Fans on their feet and the crowd getting really loud. Offense did a job off the field. There's a towel. Bank of America. Stadium is going down. Defense got them pushed back to the sack. That's a safety and we got the ball. Rushing on your shotgun, staring at the barrel, y'all. All New England fans hear them saying that ain't fair at all. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Better watch the linebacker. He can read you like a book. Run 40 yards just to tackle Luke. Got him shook. Tobert like a tank. And D'Angelo with the fake. Stiff arm out of bounds. 25 to game. Stewart back, healthy 3 lethal running backs. It's suicide at the wide receivers. It's a rout. Secret weapon make plays. Greg Olsen make it happen. Keep pounding on these haters. We ain't playing John Madden. Legion of the hometown goes boom. Force and fumbles. Panthers making sure the ball is loose. Jack move. Charles Johnson, yeah, he will come attack you. State of mind, mentally and physically, we pass you. Godfrey in the nickel back, and he making sure we're safe. Panthers on the prowl, we gon' come and elevate the state. Hard fall thriller, only 59 seconds left. Panther fans on the feet, heart beating out the chest. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding. Ice up, son. What's up? Ice up, son. What's up? Carolina, keep pounding. Carolina, keep pounding.
the whole time. What's up, guys? Keep Pounding Nation. We're back. We're back. Sorry about that. I was muted. I didn't realize it. Uh, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. And check out the Facebook page, group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, as well as schedules for the channel. And of course, the Fantasy Football Yahoo Sports League. Let's get into this. Day 1 of training camp. Welcome back if you're coming back from the off season. And I'm excited. I think that this first year is going to be the first stepping stone to really getting where we want to go. And we got a couple more years before we can really call ourselves real contenders. And I think one more offseason might do it. But we got to get through this season first. And I think looking at 7 to 8 wins on that schedule, it'll depend on what we're looking at as far as like training camp, and the evaluation process really begins now as far as the rookies and the players that we have brought in. So I think we're on track to do something big here under Dave Canales. Shout out to Marcos Cash. Welcome to the chat. Welcome. Come on in. We will be getting the fantasy football set up here soon within the week. We are currently looking for 2 more people for the Keep Pounding League. And as far as the other league, the Ill City League, that you can compete to win a ring in, I want to add a few more people before we open it up to chat. So we're not quite ready for that yet. I think that we have a lot of news to go for today here in day 1. So we'll go through that in Twitter. We'll go through that in every piece of information that we've gotten so far. The news is still coming in. What do we use for fantasy? Yahoo Sports. So it's the Yahoo Sports app. Go ahead and log on to that, create an account. We're not doing cash leagues. These are totally free. As far as the one that you win a ring on, totally free. So, I think that the person running that Ill City League wanted to turn it into a cash league, and everybody voted against it. So, give me just a second, folks. All right, sorry about that. I was trying to get some stuff set up for today. There's a lot going on, and I've got a lot on my plate now. Uh, so yeah, Yahoo Sports. The Yahoo League is really good. The app, I really like it. Sure. Um, I've tried ESPN before. I wasn't a big fan of it. Um, Mostly because of the setups they have it on ESPN. But I used ESPN for and the Major League Baseball one for the baseball fantasy at one point, and I really did like that. The setup on the Major League Baseball website was good. It all depends on like how you commission your league though. So, certain settings will work, certain settings won't. So it all depends, Um, you'll notice I'm in a different setting. It's a different situation right now. Um, but I will be like doing my streams from home at some point soon. There's a lot going on in the last 2 to 3 months, so I'm just trying to get acclimated back to a regular schedule and a way of doing things that I like to do. So, for a little bit, you'll be seeing a couple of these streams from here. So, from my friend's house. So, um, so yeah, if you don't have an account on Yahoo Sports app, go ahead and download that. And we got 2 spots open on the Keep Pounding League. We've got I don't know how many spots we're gonna have open on the other one yet. That depends. I've got to add a few people that I want in there first, and he's got to add a few people as well that were in the original crew, uh, that were competing with us, in the last 2 3 4 years, before we open it up to chat. So, but once we do, I'll announce it on the Facebook group page. So be alert for that, and I'll announce it on the streams as well. And I'll say it like 4 or 5 times during streams, once it's announced. So if you're interested in that, just drop a comment in the posts that I've thrown up there on Facebook group page, and we'll get back to you. I know we've had 2 people interested and they've commented, so shout out to those 2 people. ESPN used to be your favorite, but they stopped letting you talk. Now I use Sleeper. What's Sleeper? I've never heard of that one. That's interesting. But yeah, there was talk about doing a cash league, but we decided not to do it because everybody voted against it. So I was heavily against it. Because of my situation. So, all right, let's dig into this training camp day 1 news, shall we? Give me one moment. I'm gonna get us in here. No, that's not it. That's not what we want. You got to give me a second to get back into the swing of things here. It's been a bit. I have been doing like games streams and stuff on here, but it's just been a minute, man. Okay. 30 seasons in the NFL, Carolina Panthers. Now, okay, Marcos Cash, you won in the Keep Pounding League. Cool, 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 cool. Um, The easiest way is to get in our email and through private chat on Facebook, because I can send you the link for it. So go ahead and drop your email in chat, and I'll copy and paste it, and I'll send it to you. Okay. Okay. Email works. Email works. Yeah, just drop your email. And if you don't want it in there after I've sent you the email, then in chat, then I'll delete it off the chat, or my mod will. All right, so first things first, we've got pup agents, players that cleared the list. We've got Chow Smith Wade. We've got Jalen Coker, who was our 7th round pick. That we're activated off that list now. Okay, cool. I see your email. Hold on just a second. Let me hide the screen, and I'll try to get you in there. Alright? Give me 1 second, buddy. But there's a lot going on, though, that I think people really need to pay attention to um, with this training camp day. I'll get into it in just a second. That's the one. Bear with me because I'm a little new to commissioning leagues. This is only my 2nd year doing it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we do have 2 spots. Alright, let me see. Email. And it was. Already sent from my business email. Let's see if it works. Let me know if you get it. Alright, from this spot on, we're going to have one more available for the Keep Pounding League. So if you want in, let me know. All right. Furthermore, let's get into this training camp day because it's been an eventful one. Um, like I said, the pup list, we just discussed that. Chow Smith Wade, which I've got my reservations about. He is essentially Dante Jackson 2.0. He's healthy, as opposed to Dante Jackson. He does toe tackle like Dante Jackson, which is my concern with him. And if, the history of injuries with Dante Jackson continues the way they are, I'm just hoping he doesn't follow that same path with injuries. That's my other concern. So if he's a carbon copy of Dante, we basically just refreshed Dante Jackson is essentially what we did. So I don't know. I don't know that this is a good thing or a bad thing just yet. I want to see him in camp and we'll see what we're dealing with. If he can break his glass ceiling and become better than what Dante Jackson was, then I'd say we didn't just trade, we upgraded, So, and with Jalen Coker, he's a 7th round pick. Now, I can see him being special teamer right now, return man. We'll see what happens with him. I'm not in a hurry to designate him just yet, but I do like him. I think he's got potential. He was in my mock drafts. So we'll see. Okay, cool. You're in. Let me see. Marcos. Yep, you're in. Cool. Go ahead and delete your email off the chat. And we're good to go. We got one spot left in the Keep Pounding League, guys. One spot left. I had 2 people announce their interest in it on Facebook. Let me just see. Where did I put that post? We're going to address all that stuff in a minute. There's a lot. There is a lot, folks. But right now, I'm focused on that right now. When did I put that? It was earlier last week, right? Earlier this week, I put that post out. Because I'm not seeing it. Sometimes that stuff can get lost. Because people flood the page with a bunch of content, so. Alright, yeah, Corey Cox and Jose Miranda showed interest. So, if they're still interested, then we will do a drawing. And we'll see who gets in. That's how we're going to roll with that. BT, come on, man. We're not bringing Cam Newton back. Not as a player. Are you asking for him as a player or are you asking for him as a coach? Because that's 2 totally different things. Yeah, he's not exactly retired yet. He hasn't announced it, but he's basically retired at this point. Um, but yeah, if you're interested in that one spot, just fun. I'm gonna pin that post actually, so that people can find it, and just let me know that you're interested in it. And after a certain time period of people showing interest, we will do the drawing. Okay. A lot of content to get on the Facebook page as well. So, but I want to start with what we learned on Twitter, and of course the new layout of the training camp. So, the new training camp layout is essentially you got a fan area with a covering, and I saw a few videos of that on Twitter. Let me get to it. Dave Canales did actually address the crowd, so we'll play that video as well, because I want people to get a hold of that. C3 was there. Shout out C3. 3 of the 4 members there. You got Cody, Tony, and I forget the other guy's name. But love them all, man. Love them all. I met them at training camp last year, and what an experience, man. What a blast. Let's see. What I want for you to see is there's a few people that actually posted some videos. Um, let's see. Let's do Adam Scheffler. Let's do Adam Scheffler. Because Adam Scheffler will have it. That's where I saw it the first time. No, it was oh shoot. Joe Person, right? Yeah, it was Joe Person. Joe Person had the picture of it. Okay, so here is the layout, of the fan area. You got your awning, you got your seatings here, you got all the equipment over here, and it's basically 2 practice fields. Um, I like the layout. I like what they did with it. You know, with the only problem is like 2,000 seats. 2,000 seats. That's the problem. And it quickly sold out. Obviously, because it's 2,000 seats a practice day. Now, you've heard my rants about this. Okay? You've heard my rants. There's no need to push this any further. Right? When you're looking at least 4,500 a day for a training camp in Spartanburg versus 2,000 seating, those numbers don't add up. Like, Tepper, this is a good start, but you gotta have a bigger viewing area. This ain't gonna work. Just saying. The man clearly never planned for any events. But there you go. 2,000 seating. I mean, does that look like it could fit 2,000 people in it, though? That's my question. Like, does it? I don't know. You jam pack them in there. Maybe. And then you got a jam packed media room where these people are like, basically crammed like sardines in this media room. I mean, look at this thing. There's your close up of the fan area. There's the practice field. But I want you to look at. Hold on. This area right here. This is the media area. You got like 2 windows on this side, 2 windows on this side, and a door. And it's basically a rectangular death trap for the media. Who designs this stuff? I'm telling you. Who designs this garbage? Because there's just no way. If you're a media person, I will even defend the media people on this one. This is ridiculous. There's your close up of the fan area where I'm going to be sitting in on the 5th and 6th. I think he did post a picture of the media booth or whatever before that. I don't know whether that got taken down or what, because I saw it earlier. But yeah, you got basically like four rows of metal seats in here, and it's just how I don't. How is this supposed to work? You got all that media gear. You got like cameras, mics, all this stuff. Like, how is this supposed to work? Exactly. We should have left it in Spartanburg. I don't get it. They said it was sold out, but when PPP was live, there were two fans in the stands. They were half empty. Yeah, exactly. Like, where is everybody? Is anyone coming? Nobody's gonna come because he moved it up to Charlotte. I mean, yeah, it does manage the traffic better, but at the same time, like, is it worth it? You know what I mean? Like, to only allow 2,000 people in. It's like the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory golden tickets, you know? I just don't see how this is practical. I don't get it. But okay. Shout out David Screws. But yeah, these are your new facilities here. So that's just from a fan perspective what that's going to look like right there. You know. So let's kind of break that down. What is that over there? That's what I want to know. What is that area? Is that for the players? What are they doing with that? I don't know. Practice field closed. Please stay off the grass. Okay. Not a problem. That facility, I think, has all the equipment and stuff in it. That's my guess. But yeah. Does that look like it can host 2,000 people, though? I don't know. I don't know. You be the judge. But yeah, we got a lot to catch up on here. So, starting out, Dan Morgan on the conditioning test looks like everybody's in great shape. Looked like they worked their butts off. Cool. He reiterates there's a plan in place, but not putting expectations on this year. His focus is on the long term, which is exactly what it should be. There's no timeline on DJ Wanham and Jonathan Brooks. which for me, DJ won him. I'm excited to see what he can bring, and I love Jonathan Brooks, and he's here for long term. He's focused on just staying put, and being patient. So Clowney points out his first training camp in general in a long time. So he hasn't been to a training camp in a long time. Wow. Okay, so I don't know why people are asking about Bryce Young's weight. I'm going to ignore that. Because there's no point in bringing that up. That's like bringing up his height at this point. It's a mute point. There's been several trade rumors of Ayuk. There's been a corner that we could have traded for as well. Listen, guys, we have $6 million in cap room right now. $6 million. We're not about to give up more capital to get one of these players. We're just not. We're pretty much done trading until the trade deadline. I just don't see it. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up Icky in a minute. You know what? Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so in the first video that I actually saw on Twitter, there was pressure from the left side. And Bryce Young, pressured from the left, does deliver a pass to the outside. Towards the sideline, intermediate route. It's an out route, simple out route. But Icky, when the pressure is on him, gave up would-be sacks. And that's a problem. I warned you guys about Icky. He's on my list of those players that, either do or die this year. Taylor Moton's one of them. DJ Johnson's one of them. And I'll go ahead and name a couple more. I think Ian Thomas is one of them. He hasn't broken his glass ceiling. And it's been 3 years with bad coaches, granted. So I'm going to give him one more year. But he's got to step it up. This is it. This is his do or die year. If he doesn't show any progress, then, yeah, we're going to have to move on. With all due respect to Ian. Because I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player, great person. But on the field, he just hasn't broken that glass ceiling. And it's time. You know what I mean? Like, you've been given plenty of time. And you haven't done it yet. But Icky and Taylor Moton are the main problems. And my concern on this offensive line is we haven't addressed the main two yet. We said, oh yeah, we'll be fine. Okay, well, with all the injuries and with Corbett with his knee injury, was it an ankle injury history? Yeah, it was Corbett with an ankle injury history. That's a concern. That's 3 out of the 5 that we aren't sure that we can count on. We got 2 solid people in the offseason to fill in the starter roles. We have Brady Christensen, we have Cade Mays, which I believe in. Brady Christensen's proved his worth. But my concern is okay, well, if you're going to lock Brady Christensen in the center and you can't put him anywhere else, we don't have any help at the tackle positions. And this is yet again another year where we have failed to fix the tackle position. So we're going to have to do that next year. That is a necessity. I want that done in the first three rounds of the draft or free agency. That is a priority. Because we don't have help in those areas. And I'll take a look at the new people that we brought in. To be fair, but I still don't think we addressed it fully, and that's going to be a problem. Yeah, torn ACL and MCL in the knee. Yeah, okay, so it was a knee injury as well. That's what I was double checking. Um, excuse me. So, with that in mind, I'm not sure I have any faith in in our starting line right now. Not as much as I thought I would, with those two being a problem. So we'll just have to ride it out and see what happens this year. That's what we're gonna have to do. And I mean, the first year, that's acceptable and understandable, because we're trying to figure out what we have and what we don't, under a brand new coach that really knows what he's doing and setting us up for a winning season. As a building block season. But once you get into the second season, then you have to have those guys in order to have 10 wins. That it becomes a necessity at that point. You can't settle for less. That starting five has got to be rock solid year two. And then you start building depth behind it. So every year we're going to be looking to add to that offensive line. And I think you're going to hear the same thing from Dave and Dan. But yeah, this is already day one and he's already giving up would-be sacks. That's a problem. I warned you guys about Icky. Do or die, man. Do or die season. And if he can't get it together, this is it. I don't know how many years we still have him on contract for, but for me, that's it. If he doesn't get it together this year, I'm done with him. I think let somebody else have him and replace him. But I like Icky as a player and as a person, but he hasn't been getting it done. It's just as simple as that. Let's get to Xavier Leggett practicing after the first couple of weeks in the spring with hamstring tightness, so he's back. That's good news. Dave Canales addressed the crowd. Yeah, but we're not doing any more trades. That's just not happening. And like I said, I like DJ Warnham. I think he's got the potential to do a lot of good things. We have a very weak linebacker area, and even with the new additions, I'd still put it in the yellow zone because I don't think we're quite there yet. We may still need a few more acquisitions in this next offseason. Given the fact that we're going to have more money, we're going to have more draft picks, I think we could fix that in the next offseason. But my other concern is corner. I think beyond that, we're looking good because we just started addressing the pass rushing. And from what I heard, Yannick is trying out for the team. A lot of people wanted us to go after Yannick. You got your wish. He's trying out for us. Now, granted, we do have $6 million in cap room. So, how we decide we want to go about this, I don't know. Because you need that money in case of injuries during the regular season. And we still haven't gotten our clear number 3 corner. I like Charles Smith-Wade. I think he's going to be a solid a solid 3, but we need that 4th. And we still haven't hit that 4th one. So my thought is, if we don't find a winner in that cornerback room for the number 4 spot by the end of training camp and preseason, then we're going to have to go out and sign Eli Apple. And I think there's one other one I was looking at as well this offseason. And I forget the name. But we are going to need that 4th corner. Otherwise, we're going to be in big trouble. And that will get us through this year. But, of course, we're going to have to draft a guy to permanently settle into that number 4 spot. If the corner that they got in free agency doesn't pan out. So I'm going to have to take a look at this new guy that they got, to see if he's going to work out for us or not. And I'll get a good look at him on the 5th and 6th. August 5th and 6th. So I'll be able to tell you what we're dealing with in 2 days' time. I want to do. Because they did put out the depth chart. I'm trying to find it. Boodle's basically a practice squad guy. Willie Drew, practice squad. We still have Troy Hill. Now, Troy Hill I consider to be number 2. J.C. Horn number 1. Dane Jackson's the guy I was talking about. Now, if Dane Jackson pans out, then we've got our number 4. Our number 4 would be Charles Smith-Wade. Because I think we can get by with Boodle until the end of the year. I don't know that much about Lamar Jackson, to be honest with you. Or Deshaun Jameson. I think he may be a camp body, but I'm not sure. But we are trying to address that corner room. We've been adding people, which is good. The question is, will it be enough? Can we find a winner out of that crew that will settle into that number 4 spot? And that's been the major question mark for me. If we can find that winner that'll settle into the number 4 spot, we can definitely get through 2024, and get 7 to 8 wins like we're looking for. Because I trust the secondary right now. Other than that, I like our safeties. I like our free safeties. I like our pass rushers that we've added. I like our defensive tackle area right now. I like what we have. The defense is starting to shape up. We just need to find a place for DJ Johnson or toss him at this point. And the problem with that is we used 2 draft picks on this dude. Like, what are we doing with him? We haven't found a spot for him. He hasn't done anything for us last year. And this defense was ranked pretty high. We had a really good defense last year. And that's without DJ in there. He was barely used. So where are you putting him? That's why I keep thinking this is a Frank pick. It's not a pick by our defensive coordinator. It's a pick by our former head coach. Or maybe Tepper. So I'm a little concerned about that. Did we sign the cornerback from the Lions? I know he's coming to work out for us. What's his name? You give me a name, I can look it up. I know we also had Martavius Bryant trying out, which I'm very excited about, by the way. He's got excellent hands, even at this stage in his career. Excellent hands and good speed. He hasn't lost much speed-wise. Um, the problem is, can he stay out of trouble? And I think he can. I'm not too concerned about that right now. Jerry Jacobs. I don't see him on the list. So I don't think we signed him. I didn't hear that name as far as tryouts are concerned. Maybe one of the people on my team did, but I didn't hear that name. I'll have to double check later on for you. I'll get back to you on that, Marcos, alright? Um, but for now, I don't think we signed him. There were a couple of other people we were trying out as well, so I don't know who's going to stick, who isn't. But addressing the defensive ends, you got O'Brien Ray. I like him. I like Alshon Robinson. I think he's got potential. He's an Alabama guy, 6'3", 320. You got Jaden Crumedy. I've heard good things about him. And of course, Clowney. We got the Clowney, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited about that. Let's see. So getting into the linebackers, you got Michael Barrett. You got. Does anybody know anything about Cam Gill? I've never heard of this dude. Wagner University. Where's Wagner? Josie Jewell is who everybody's excited about right now. You got Shaq. You got Chandler Wooten. I consider to be a practice squad guy. And Tay as well. But Tay is getting better. So I don't know. We're going to see how this goes. But overall, we're looking good. Now, there is the concern of Andy Dalton. I pointed him out last year. He's starting to decline a lot. He is, he went 1 for 4 today with a pick. And that pick went to a rookie. A guy I've never heard of. Versus Bryce Young, who went 3 for 5 and did really, really well. So, I mean, if you really look at it, Bryce is starting to, on the first day, do really well. And like I said, the one play that I saw in the video was a out route to the outside sideline, and it was right on target. Yeah, Alex Cook, that's who got the pick, is a rookie safety. So with Andy Dalton throwing a pick to Alex Cook, yikes. That's not good. That's not a good start for Andy. I've been concerned about his footwork, his hands, and just how he goes about his business out there. So we'll just have to see. I'll be right back. I'm going to find out what's going on out there. All right, guys. I am back. Sorry about that. All right, so yeah, Andy Dalton is a problem right now. I think we just let him run his contract out. Um, I think if Andy can get some improvement going here and start playing better, you know, if Dave Canales can have that same impact on our former quarterback on Andy, you know, like he did in Tampa, then I see the potential of him staying, for a little longer, just running his contract out until he retires. Because I don't see him going anywhere else. Um, but if he doesn't, just let him run his contract out anyway. Either way, that's what we're going to end up doing. And it just sucks that that's what that has to be. But, you know, I love Andy, man. And I hate to see his career end the way it is, or go down the way it is. But it is what it is, man. And with all due respect to the coaching staff, I do think there may be a little bit left in the tank to Andy, but he's got to show it. Otherwise, I just don't see it. Um, okay, so some of the players are at a team hotel, some get to go home and sleep in their own beds. Asked about a future contract extension, J.C. Horn said his main focus is showing coaches in the front office he's going to be available. Okay, cool. So what do y'all think about that, J.C. Horn? Talk about that in chat. Let's see what we got here. Because I see a lot of potential of J.C. Horn staying, and I think it's a good idea to extend him at this point. It's just the injury concerns. You know what I mean? How much are you willing to pay him? For his talent, but you also have to take a little bit off because of his injury concerns. So it's a mixture of both, really, in the contract negotiations, and I'm a little skeptical of, do we want to do this or not? So I'm about 75 on the fence, of keeping him for an extension, in my opinion. But if he goes down with like a season ending injury, there's the 25% concern right there. You know what I mean? Um, but of course that's been happening with our corners like left and right. But you could start to address that by keeping these guys healthy. In certain ways that you could do it. There will be ways that you can't do it. But you want to try to maintain their health as best you can. Um, let's see. So they've already started doing the 7-on-7 drills, which is good, and 11-on-11s. In day one. I'm very pleased with that. Dave Canales did address the crowd. We'll get to that in a little bit because that's a video. Let's see. I don't think the Niners are going to trade Brandon Ayuk. Because according to Jonathan Jones, where Joe Person retweeted this, the 49ers, John Lynch just said that Brandon's a big part of the team and we expect that he will be here this year. So that to me says, they're not really wanting to trade him, but Brandon Ayuk's just like, yeah, trade me. So it's kind of that whole 50-50 thing there. So I don't know what's going to happen there. We'll see. Let's see. I think the conditioning that Dan Morgan mentioned and the focus on the long term and not putting expectations is really big for us this year. Those are the two highlights I see from Dan that really catch my attention today. Crowds on the small side, so not many people came, and that's part of what happens when you move it up to Charlotte. You're gonna lose some people. There were people traveling from North Carolina to Spartanburg, to be there. A lot of people actually, because they knew it was kind of like a permanent home, for a while due to Jerry Richardson. But it is what it is. It'll start gathering steam again. I think it will. There's more people in South Carolina that want to see it than North Carolina, in my opinion. I'd have to run the numbers to find out, but I think that is the case because most people came from South Carolina that I've asked anyway. That I've encountered personally, but that's a very small percentage. Versus the whole number. So I would not be able to tell you, in total how many people are from which state. But let's talk about Eddie Pinheiro. Harrison Mevis didn't kick today, but Eddie Pinheiro recovering here goes 5 for 5 with a log of 52 kicking. So that's good. That means we're going to have some strong competition at kicker position here. Whoever wins this thing is going to be looking real good with a fat paycheck. So I like that. But really, it's about more than just the energy with Dave Canales, though. It's about what he's bringing to the table. It's about his skill sets, his knowledge, his background, his ability to coach. And I think we're going to see that this year. But like I've always said, don't just talk about it, be about it, So I want to see it in person. I want to see him coaching these guys in training camp in person. How are you going to manage a game? How are you going to manage, a regular season game? How are you going to do different things, And that's mainly what I'm looking for out of Dave. So we'll go to Adam Scheffler here. Let's see what Adam Scheffler's got for us. His main focus is on Jim Harbaugh in LA. It looks like. And CeeDee Lamb. The CeeDee Lamb news broke yesterday. They're still scheduled to pay him $17.99. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But all I know is we cannot afford to go after people like that right now. It's unrealistic. So keeping that in mind, let's see what's been going on with the salary caps. You got Mims. They got put on a 4-year deal, rookie deal. Cam Akers, Justin Hopkins. Now, our free agent spending was $92,535,000. That's close to Almost $100 million, guys. That's crazy. And we're not even at the top of the list. We're like lower on the list. We're like sixth on the list. The top one was the Texans with 117,000. Buccaneers 113,000. Titans 103,000. Jags 100,000. And then you got the Patriots above us with 93,000. But still, that's pretty crazy when you think about it. But I also want to point out the Commanders. They've gotten two of our players in the offseason, and they're starting to build up that defense again. So for a while, it's going to look like a Ron Rivera type team, where it's 8-8. But that's only because Scott and Marty don't exactly work together well. They don't mesh. Scott's main goal is to get players, and put them on decent contracts. But Marty will always go for the bigger fish. And that's going to be a problem for Scott because he has to find a way to keep these guys around on a decent contract, and also pay them. You got to pay these guys. So eventually you're going to end up in cap hell again, unless you find a way to work around those contracts. So I don't know how that's going to work out. We're just going to have to keep an eye on that. But if these guys start finding ways around that, and start building up an actual roster, we're going to have a problem. Because that's going to be one of our main competitors on the way to the top once, while we're building ours. Right now, we have enough firepower to take them down. But that's this year alone. But once they start building and we start building, I don't know. We're slightly ahead of them at the moment. But I don't know how long that's going to last. They might bridge that gap soon. If they find a way around that little loophole problem there. Which could turn into a major problem for Washington because they could go into the red very quickly. So, we're going to possibly be sitting in between 10 and 15 on the draft order. If Washington ends up sitting around that same area, watch out because Scott knows how to find these people. And so does Marty. These guys know what they're doing. So, we players here from our draft boards if we're not careful. I've been monitoring this very carefully. And they've got 37 million cap space, ladies and gents. That is not, that's something that we need to pay attention to. The Niners still have 31 million. And I'm just looking at this like, okay. What are we going to be facing if we manage to get into the playoffs? And you've got the Eagles with 25.7 million to spend. You got the Niners with 31.4. You got the Lions with 34.5. And if the Commanders should sneak in there with the wild card, they've got 37 mil. That's going to be... And don't forget the Vikings down here with 21.3. But I think the first year, I don't think we try for the playoffs. Dan already said he's not even putting that on the radar right now. We get into the playoffs when we're ready. And I agree. I think that's the right mindset. You play out the season, you get as far as you can, and then finish the building process. The first year is the stepping stone. The second year is when we go and make the push. You know, that's when we care about the playoffs. That's when we care about winning the division. That's when we care about making sure that we have all our I's dotted and our T's crossed. You know? And that 92.5 million that we spent is important because it's the first step in making sure that we get what we need. You know, when you put $100 million into an offensive lineman, you expect this dude to be solid because he's top 5 in his position. You know, when you put all of this money into people that we know are going to be solid, they better pan out. And that's what this first year is about, making sure that these guys pan out. Otherwise, we're back to square one and we might as well rebuild again, you know. But these guys know what they're doing. They know what they're looking for. They've got a formula. And that's what I'm interested in. You got Devontae Adams out here looking for a trade too, by the way. They extended Trevor Lawrence with a $275 million contract extension. I think that's a wise move, Jacksonville, because look, man, a healthy Trevor Lawrence and a healthy Travis Etienne, plus the weapons that they have in Jacksonville that they're still building on, all they need to do is finish that line. They've already got a solid defense. That team could be scary good. I'm talking top 4 for a few years. That's something to be on the lookout for if you're an AFC competitor. They're not getting past the Chiefs, I know that. But that's as far as they're going to go. Once they hit that brick wall, they're not going any further. But all the rest of these competitive teams in the AFC playoffs, very possible. Very possible indeed that they could get past them if they got enough firepower. So that's your extensions. So let's kind of look at. They didn't post the depth chart yet, but they posted a depth chart for training camp, which I did agree with. You know, there was only like 2 or 3 minor changes I would have made to it, but you know, it's depth. Once they get into 2 or 3 days of training camp, those roles will be switched back around to where they should be, I think. So I'm not as concerned about that right now. My whole thing is just making sure that everybody's where they should be on that depth chart, you know what I mean? So Dan Morgan puts emphasis on work, not expectation. So let's check that out. He says we have a lot of new players and we have to get together and out there become a team. Don't worry about it. So in terms of the playoffs, we'll reach that when we're ready. I think right now we're focused on today or tomorrow, and we're just trying to get better as a team. And I think that's the right mindset to have. You know, you look at what we're building right now. It's a marathon, not a sprint, like I've been saying. And like he's been saying, there's a plan in place. We have a process. We stick to it. We're disciplined. We stick to our plan on building this thing. We'll build a winner eventually. And he feels confident in that. And I agree. Like, I see the vision. I do. I really do believe it's there. A lot of stuff keeps me up at night in terms of wanting to get this roster better, wanting this organization to win. Obviously, I care a lot this organization, so we want to put a winner out there. We want to win as much as everybody wants to win around the city, and we want to bring a winner. And I like what he's saying, man. This is sounding beautiful, man. He spoke on Wofford here. Definitely is a place that I hold dear to my heart. It was a fun place down there. But being here in Charlotte, I think our players will be able to be at home in their environment, in their own locker, in their own training room. Nothing's going to be new to them. So, I think there's an advantage of being here. And I think they can still bond and do all the things that they did in Spartanburg. We're just going to try to add as many pieces as we can and create as much competition as we can, and we'll kind of handle it that way. My whole thing is, it now raises the question, did Tepper want this moved, or did the entire organization want this moved from Spartanburg? With that comment right there. It really raises the question, doesn't it? So, I feel like it's 90% Tepper just doing whatever he wants to do because he's a rich, happy-go-lucky guy that just doesn't care, But at the same time, like, just throw away your money, just do whatever you want to do because you're David Tepper, right? But at the same time, you hear that comment from Dave and you go, hold up. Did Dave have a say in this or not? It makes you wonder. Shout out Donna B. What's up? Welcome back in. Love to see you. Love to see you. Everybody show some love to her. Alright. This right here. This is what concerns me right here. Now, is Dan going along with the program here, or is it Tepper 100% that's leading the way here? Makes you wonder. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all got to keep an eye on these guys, man. Just because you got full confidence in Dan and Dave up there in office doesn't mean they're 100%. Exactly what we're expecting them to be. You can't just buy 100% into this front office. I never do. Even with Ron Rivera and the whole staff we had in 2015, I still didn't 100% buy into this office. And you're wise not to. But at the same time, put your confidence in these guys too. Because they are showing a lot of potential of growing us into what we need to be. Long term. But that right there, that's a red flag to me. Because of the fact that we decided we wanted to move up to Charlotte with this. So, I just notice little things like this, It's context. Context matters a lot. Especially with this management and what they say. And sometimes you'll be listening to them and you'll go, okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's just a bunch of fluff. And then they do the complete opposite. So, really, you don't know what to expect from this Panthers management from year to year. You really don't. Even with this staff, you don't 100% know what to expect. Because they'll come out with comments like that, and you'll be like, what? That doesn't line up with everything else that you said. Or what we're trying to do. So, I don't know. But, the point is the compass points north for us, man. It points north. And that's where we want it to go towards. Because if it ain't going north, we can't go south again. We can't go south any further. I can tell you that right now. So the interesting thing is Clowney. He said he's been on 6 teams. He's never been on a loser, really. Browns, Titans, Seahawks, Texans. I never went to one and just lost, and I don't plan on coming here and just losing. I know what it looks like. I know what it takes to win. Coming here every day, practicing and preparing. We're all here for a reason. We're all professionals. We all got what it takes to win here in an organization. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Everybody buying in and hearing it from the guys that have been here from other teams, telling them, man, we got what it takes, and to show up every day and come to work and let the chips fall. But like I said, I've seen what it looked like, and we got the tools. We got to prepare like it. Okay, so breaking this down, he's been to 6 teams that have been successful. The man's never been on a losing team. But he knows what it looks like. Which tells me he sees the vision we're creating here. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here. He sees what we're trying to create. And he knows that this is going to be a winning franchise. Otherwise, he wouldn't bother with us. If this was just Carolina Panthers football as usual, he wouldn't even bother walking into our office or giving us a phone call. Because I know Clowney pretty well at this point. He's a professional. And that pretty much confirmed what I already knew about him. Like, he's not going to waste his time with a team that's not going to win. And that's a smart decision. That's putting his career first, Yeah, the man doesn't have a ring yet. But he's putting his career first. And he knows if he's patient, he'll get a ring eventually. With the right team. So that's what you're looking for, But, so that's that article. Bryce is on a mission. Let's see. Okay. I'm just trying to point out what's important here. Save you guys some time. Because we're all here for a reason, I'm not going to waste your time with a bunch of nonsense that's not important. Okay. I think for me, there's a sense of urgency. There's always a sense of wanting to be the best I can be, the best we can be every day. I like that. Good comment. That's something I definitely don't want to lose. I don't feel like, for me, I guess, I don't look at it as a pressure from outside things. I think really for us, it's making sure we can have the best we could be every day and accomplish our goals throughout the year. That's the big picture thing. He's focused on the small stuff right now, what he can do right now. You know, he's not focused on the overhanging pressure from the outside, which is good. So it's mindset. You know what I mean? Uh, let's see. Dan Morgan thinks that Bryce Young is one of the hardest working men in the locker room. I think he's on a mission. I think he's committed to be great. He's committed to his franchise. Surrounded by the best players, best protection. So we got to do our part as well. Bryce is hungry and focused, and we're super excited about him. Okay, so they've got focus on him. They're excited about what he can bring, and ooh, Xavier Leggett wasn't happy with himself. Okay, that got my attention. Let's see. Started out pretty slow for him. Wasn't his best. We got time to continue to make it better. I get upset with myself about things like that when I don't have the best day and didn't leave everything out there on the field. Uh. Okay. Okay. My expectation for Xavier, I'm wide open. I'm wide open to how quickly he can really assimilate himself into the offense and pick it up. So he could just be in a rhythmic flow for what he's doing. I just wanted to get better one day at a time. Same messages we just kind of talked about, and I'm open to whatever that looks like. That's Dave Canales' words on him. But I mean, we know what we have in Leggett. There's no mystery in what we have in this player. So I'm not as concerned about that either. So we'll just see how that goes. That's not the one I was looking for. I was looking for first. Okay. Highlights. All right. Um. Bunch of stuff about curfew. Um. I'm not really seeing anything about what actually went on, which is what I'm more interested in. Okay, here we go. So Bryce Young, Ian Thomas, and Steven Sullivan first ones to show up. And there was a tweet about that saying, these guys need to shape up, because they may be the first ones out. And let me clean this up for everybody. Bryce Young's not going anywhere. Steven Sullivan's not going anywhere. There's potential for Steven Sullivan. Ian Thomas, though, if he doesn't break that glass ceiling soon, he's gone. So I just wanted to clean that tweet up and make sure that everybody's aware. That's how we feel about this. And I think everybody feels the same way. We're on the same page there. Mostly the first day is going to be warm-ups, stretching, stuff like that. Just getting them back into the routines. Walking laps, doing stuff like that, little exercises, to build up those muscles, and warm them up. You will see the 7-7 on 7s and the 11 on 11s, obviously in the first week. But it's preparation for the bigger practices, in the second week where you have pads. So, I mean, if you really look at it, the first 3 days really are just warm-ups. Then you start to see these players start to blossom and come out there and do what they do. You know what I mean? Like, that's when it's time to start evaluating, realistically. But you'll see some patterns start to develop in the first 3 days, and either they're going to be healthy ones or unhealthy. So you want to pay attention to that. If you're watching from the stands. Honestly, I'm looking to see how the rookies adapt to training camp. How do they, get into a rhythm, for that first week. And then you'll start to see what the rookies can really do or not do. And for me, I think we got a solid set of rookies, so I think we're in good shape here. Shout out to all the people that follow me on Twitter, or X, as it's called now. Appreciate you guys for that. I don't really get on here very often, so. But for the people that want to know, my Twitter handle is Keep Pounding, or Keep Pow 3281148. So if you want to find me on Twitter, that's how you find me. I tried to change it. I don't know why it's not letting me change it, but there you go. Shout out to Castor Brown. Panthers are the worst team. Why do you care about them? I care about them because I grew up watching this team since like 2004. And I've grown to love the players. I've grown to love the mantra. I've grown to love every part of the Panthers. You know what I mean? Organization-wise. And, it's part of what I do, why I do. It's because, it's a special meaning to be a fan and feel like it's a family. You know what I mean? Like, what team do you root for, Castor? Because, like, if you feel the same way about your team, you'll start to understand why I do what I do. And over the years, I've just gotten more and more entranced in just learning this franchise and every part of it. And learning about how the franchise is run, the types of players that come in, what expectations that we're looking for, what are we looking to build, we've seen a winner, we've seen a losing team, we've seen in between, we've ridden the roller coaster since the early days. Some people have been here since the inception, so if you have been on that roller coaster for that long, you kind of understand. You know, the loyalty is there. You know, it's about loyalty. It's about respect. It's about understanding that, yeah, you have to be patient in order to get to a winning season. You know, it may take 1 year, it may take 2 years, it may take several for us, but it's worth it, in my opinion, to ride the roller coaster because, there's certain people in this organization and certain players that have won us over and continue to win us over. So, yeah, my thought process is, stick with it. And you'll get there if you're patient enough. Let me just make sure. Check my team chat. Honestly, I don't think we even really need to play the message from Dave Canales, to the crowd. Because it's not really that important. He didn't really say anything exciting. It was just to amp up the crowd, Just to say, yeah. We got these expectations, and for the first day of camp, we're excited you're here, come check us out, So it's kind of cool, to see him just hype up the crowd and just be the way he is. I think it's awesome. Do, 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 do. But why do I care about him? Because I've stuck with them for as long as I have, man. They're the home team. They represent the Carolinas. That's who they are. And the Keep Bounding mantra to me represents way more than just a mantra. It's everything. It's a life lesson. It's getting through all the struggles of life, no matter what they might be, whether you're struggling to just make ends meet, whether you're just struggling to get your health on track, whatever you may be dealing with, keep pounding through it. Because, there is always hope. There's always a next day. And that's who Sam Mills represented as a person. He was trying to tell us, all of us, that this goes beyond football. And that's why I chose that channel name. Is because I wanted to honor Sam Mills and who he is and that mantra. Because I don't just listen to that mantra every day. I live it. Ladies and gentlemen, I live that mantra. I don't know about you guys, but I do. And I think a lot of people here do too. And that's why we're all here, We believe in that. Wholeheartedly. We put our whole hearts into that. It's not just a mantra for us. It's everything. So, when you put that into perspective, that's why I've stuck around for as long as I have. And the incredible friendships that I've made too. I've met YouTubers, I've met people like David, I've met people like Carol, that was a YouTube partner of mine, that's been going through a lot of stuff, health-wise. I've met people like Blitzball, that I've contributed with, on streams. I've met people like Donna B, and Marcos, that have stuck around. And I just think it's incredible, the friendships. And I love every second of it. That's why I've stuck around. And that's why I love this team and I love this community. I love the good parts of this community. You know what I mean? the people that really, really do care and really want to find happiness, success, and some sort of peace as a fan base, over the years that we haven't been able to find. It's been elusive. But, hey, people have said that we were the most unhappy fan base, and to a degree it's true. But they haven't seen the happy version of our fan base. That's the thing. They've seen half of it. They haven't seen the other half. To where we're just optimistic, we're hopeful. We're cautiously realistic, That's the type of fan base image I want people to see when they look at our team. And that's what we're going to strive to show people this year with an 7 or 8 winning record, Or in some cases an 8 to 12, if you believe in that, Same point, We're looking to show people we're optimistic. And we care about this team. We're not backing off. We're loyal. We're strong. We're patient. And we're in it for the long term, Whether we have a winning record or not, we're still here. Like, we've seen a 1-win season. We've seen a 2-win season. We've seen 4-win seasons. And we're still here. What does that tell you? That tells you loyalty. That shows you loyalty, ladies and gents. Because we understand that there are better things over the horizon coming. If you're willing to wait, and you're willing to put in the work, and you're willing to stay by this team and stay on the train. Because look at the Cleveland Browns. Look at the Detroit Lions. Look where they are now. Look at the Jets. My point being, stay on the train. And you will find success. It may take years. But you will find it. And I think we're starting to find it, ladies and gentlemen. I think we are. I think we're starting to come out of that dark, horrible tunnel of despair and finding some hope in Dave Canales and Dave and Dan. It's going to take time. None of this is going to be easy. None of it. But if you're willing to wait, it's worth it. So that's what I'm saying. If you're a fan, stay with it. Stay on the train. It's coming. So, my whole thing with day one is just making sure that these guys are set up to be successful. They've got the proper warm-ups. They've got the proper exercises. They've got the proper footwork, hands, technique. Everything, that is required to warm them up, for bigger and better training camp exercises. The 7-on-7s, the 11-on-11s. You're getting back into the rhythm. That's what day one is all about. And I can say with all confidence, welcome back. Welcome back. And I'm hearing that Bryce Young has a connection with Deontay Adams. I like it. There's still a handful of players that we have to figure out what we're going to do with, It was a full-bore, head-knocking kind of practice. I can tell, guys, we're just chomping at the bit to get out there and get to work. I like that. That's what we're looking for. So in general, it's just a great day of work, just recapturing the work ethic. That's what this year is about, especially in camp, trying to get the intensity of what drills feel like, introducing the different team settings of what we're doing. Let's see. Just a little rusty. Okay. They'll still be installing for the first 8 practices. So he's looking for details in their work in run drills until they're actually hitting and having contact. Okay. So by the time they get to the 5th and 6th, when I get a chance to look at them, they'll be going full force when I see them. Very good. Young was on the first player on the field. Okay, so they're still doing those Ron Rivera warm-ups and stretching routines. Cool. I was going to ask about that because that did actually make a difference for a while in the player's health. You noticed a significant difference in the amount of injuries versus the year before when they started doing that. So I fully support them still doing that. So yeah, that's pretty much all the info I have at the moment, unless somebody's got something else to contribute here. If they saw, that may be good for us to look at. I have been told that the training camp has been sold out. For pretty much all of training camp has been sold out. Yep. All the regular days, anyway. FanFest is not, which is understandable because it's in Death Valley. And Back Together Saturday, for some reason, has not been sold out yet on the 27th. Because I think that's going to be stadium as well, right? They're going to host that in Bank of America Stadium? Most likely. I already got my ticket for FanFest. So I'll be in Clemson for that. I will be there the 5th and the 6th for training camp. Unfortunately not the 4th because I've got something else going on the 4th. But I will be in Charlotte on the 4th though. I've already secured the tickets for those days. Okay, yeah, that Back Together Saturday is in the stadium. That's what I figured. That's why it hasn't been sold out. Now my question is, how many tickets are you selling for the Back Together Saturday though? Because if it's 2,000 again, like, I don't understand why you would do that when you're hosting it in the stadium, but I don't know. I don't think they'll do that though. I don't think they'll limit it to 2,000 for that. But unfortunately, I will not be able to see the joint practice. So if anybody can send like videos and stuff like that through social media, please do. I will be really, really interested to see those on the last day of practice against the Jets. Because that'll be the culmination of everything that we learned during training camp and everything that we need to look at. You know, against another team, and just really, I'd like to see 2 joint practices a year I'd like to see that happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. Again, under Tepper. You know, it is Tepper running the show, so you got to remember that. But traditionally, we've had 2 joint practices, and I would like to see a second one in the future. If the management is listening, that's my request. Depending on how this training camp goes up in Charlotte, you know, I'm not exactly requesting that we, you know, I just want more tickets sold. That's what I want. I want more seating and I want more tickets sold. That's so far. That's what I'd like to see happen. I'm not picky about that right now. Oh, you have to reserve parking now? What the heck? Where was this? Where was this when I was buying tickets? Book convenient parking close to training camp. Spot hero. Up down person. Okay. So we have to reserve parking now? What the? Oh my god. That is the dumbest crap. So that's how they're handling this? You can't just park anywhere around Charlotte? Oh my gosh. That's the dumbest garbage ever. Whatever. Is anyone actually going to games this year? Let me know in chat. Or in the comments section later. I'm not. Currently, I'm not. I mean, if I was going to, it would probably be it'd probably be against a division rival. Because honestly, I don't really want to watch us, you know, play the Chargers or the Bengals. And the Giants game is overseas. I don't want to watch us play the Chiefs. You know, I'm not interested in the Cowboys game. Cardinals game, we're going to win. That's an easy one. We'll win by 14. No matter what team we have at the end of this training camp and preseason. You know, so at that point, it's just division games. I mean, the last game I attended was against Atlanta. So, I'd probably choose another Atlanta game if I was going to do that. You know, at home in Charlotte. You know, I'm not going to travel to Atlanta for a game. Although that is on the table, you know, for later on in the future. But right now, no. I'm heavily saying no to that. Because of the traffic in Atlanta. It is just a nightmare. Although, I would like to see that new dome that they have in Atlanta. In person. You know, and check it out. Because it is a really cool looking dome. I like it. Even as a Panthers fan, I can appreciate architecture, you know? Like good architecture. If I'm ever out in LA, I'd like to check out their stadium too. So, that being said, is there anything else that you guys see that we really need to focus on right now? We're working out Carl Lawson and Yannick. I'm excited about Yannick, although Yannick's going to be expensive. Morgan needs to be savvy with adding depth at the roster at final cut downs when he first dibs on players' cuts in August. Yep, he will be. Okay, we address that. Yeah, things were out of control, and that is a thing. And even Adam Thielen recognizes, we just there was so much out of our control because of the bad coaching staff. So, it is what it is, Um, do, 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 do. When asked if there are any guys that are sleeping out on the edge group in the first player, Dan Morgan mentions is DJ Johnson. Okay. I need to see it, though. I need to see him play. I need to see him practice. I need to see what he can do. I'm not ready to say a sleeper yet. I need to see what he can do. Dave Canales on Twitter. Let's get it. Games with less than 200 passing yards in the past 2 seasons. Offensively, we are 26th. We're at 26. The Bears are at 28. And that's offensively because we didn't have an offensive game plan. We had a bad offensive line. We had no weapons, that really fit a system. They were just Iowa misfit toys. So, there's a lot of undisciplined stuff going on under Frank and Matt Rule. So, not a surprise. Cam Newton has made himself available as a resource, which is excellent, and I encourage all the other former players to do so as well. Luke, Thomas Davis, Greg Olsen, all of them. Get out there and make yourself a resource. These guys need it. Looking for depth, we worked out Henry Black, Felipe Franks, Kyle McMichael, Wyatt Ray, Derek Robertson. All of these guys are just camp bodies. They're not going to make it. Ranking teams most likely to go worst to first. We're third on that list, surprisingly. According to who? All Sports Culture. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. There was one YouTuber that worked for the NFL that said we were going to go like 4 wins. And the Bears were actually going to beat us. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't know how some of these news reporters still have a job for some of these sports agencies. I really, really don't. There's no way we lose to the Bears. I just don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see it. And the same dude had, like, the Bears going 12 wins. Like, what? A little biased, are we? Towards the Bears? He's probably from Chicago. I wouldn't doubt it. Let's see. Anybody else that we really want to focus on? You'll probably recognize a couple of these names. UFL College Draft 4 recap. You recognize Coker. Uh, I think Isaiah Williams was on that list as well for us, as far as our depth chart and stuff. So, um, Trump pass rates. Wow, 6.1% for DJ Chark. Yikes. Okay, yeah, this was the Lions guy that you were talking about, right? Uh, there was this, and then there was nothing more than that. So I don't think he got signed. Um, and finally, the Stephon Gilmore situation. I want to address that real quick, and then we'll call it a stream. Um, what's up, broski? How you doing, man? Shout out to you. I knew you would come in here as soon as I started talking about the Bears. I swear, it's like a magnet. But week 5, October 6th in Chicago, Bears versus Panthers. Dude, you should get on stream with me when we do the live reaction for that. Just and we'll do like a live reaction together because I want to see like what your opinions are on that game. Well, I'm promoting mine, obviously. But if anybody thinks the Bears are gonna beat us in week 5, come on. No. I'm sorry, no. Just because you got lucky and you got one of our trades, and you got one of our wide receivers, doesn't mean you're going to be all-star potential and go 12 wins. That YouTuber is just, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, even you don't see 12 wins, do you, Broski? Come on, man. Be realistic here. When you look at that Chicago schedule, do you see 12 wins? Come on. Come on, man. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. But I did briefly want to discuss Stephon Gilmore, and then we'll get out of here. Because I've already covered everything for today, I think. Except for that. And shout out to Donna B. Keep pounding. Hashtag keep pounding. Much love to you. But, Stephon Gilmore, honestly, he's been playing games with us for 4 months. This dude doesn't intend to sign with us. Just cut him loose. Cut him loose. Cut him loose. He's not going to sign. Dan's been entertaining this for 4 months now. Come on. If he was going to sign, he would have by now. We've got other options. We've got Eli Apple out there. If we need Eli Apple, at the end of preseason, we'll go get him. But honestly, the reason nobody's calling Stephon Gilmore is because they're watching how we're approaching him. And they're watching like what he's doing specifically. And they know that he's not doing anything worthwhile, as far as like trying to get himself signed. If he really wanted to be signed, he would have by now. By us. We've had the money for months. All he had to do was take like one of those 3 offers that we gave him. For a low rate. Low rate, like $2 to $3 million a year. Not a problem, right? Come on. Come on, Stephon. What are you doing, bro? Dude's trying to play checkers while we're playing chess, man. We ain't got time for that. we don't have time for that. We're trying to build a winning team here, man. Like, get out of here with that. Like, I know you're trying to get paid like $5-6 million a year. Like, it was some ridiculous amount. And I'm sitting there like, really? So, what you're essentially trying to do is just ruin us cap-wise at this point. You're not even trying to get signed. You're trying to ruin us cap-wise to ensure that you get signed. And I feel like you would do that with any other team, too. And that's why these GMs aren't calling you. Nobody wants that. Not even the Chiefs want that. And that's saying something. And they've got plenty of room right now for corners. There's like 5 or 6 teams that have plenty of room for corners that you could have signed with by now if you would have just taken the lower amount. Like, stop playing games with these teams, man. Go get yourself signed. You got talent. You got skills. Like, stop being a troll, bro. You're going to find yourself on the free agent couch real soon. Throughout most of this year if you keep doing this. I'm just trying to tell you, you got 1 month. These teams ain't playing, man. They're trying to win. This is a serious league. We're trying to win. We're not trying to play games and get you money so you can buy a private plane or a yacht or something like that. Man, or a mansion with 15 bathrooms. Bro, stop it. Bro, you ain't no rapper. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stop. Like, I get the need to feed your family. I get the need to pay the bills. I get it. You know? And that's why these teams are willing to offer you what they are. But if you're not willing to take it, then what are you actually doing? What are you actually accomplishing? You know, and at first I thought it was your agent just playing games just like Josh Norman did back then. His agent did back then. You know, it wasn't Josh, it was his agent pushing that big money. But no. With the last statements I saw like a month ago, it's definitely you, Stephon. Come on, man. Like, good luck to you. Because we ain't signing you for that much. I'm just saying, bro. We got to look out for number one. That's us. That's our organization. First. If you can't appreciate that, you know where the door is. We're not going to sign anybody that doesn't want to be here. So, that's just my 2 cents. Do what you do, bro. But don't be surprised if it lands you on that free agent couch for an entire year. Some other team will sign you if they feel desperate, you know, and they need a corner. Maybe us. But you better be careful how much you ask for in the future, because we ain't going to play that game. We'll sign Eli Apple before we sign you. In desperation mode. I guarantee you. Nobody's saying you don't have the talent. Nobody's saying that at all. We know you have the talent. That's why we're willing to offer you $3 million. You know, as a franchise. But if you go sit there and say, no, I want to be greedy and ask for 5. Man, get the heck out of here with that bull crap. Ain't nobody going to sign that. And I guarantee you, if you get calls from the Giants, you get calls from somebody else, you're going to be asking for $7 million, you're going to be asking for $8 million, you're going to be trying to get paid like a major top 3 corner. You are not a top 3 corner, sir. You are a number 2 or number 3 man. Start asking for that type of money. Stop playing games with these organizations. Get yourself signed. Get yourself on the practice field. And let's see you go all out, man. Because that's what I want from you. I want the best from you. Because I know you got the skills, man. I know you got the heart for this game still. I know you got the discipline, man. Like, stop playing games and just get your butt on the field, man. Sign a contract. For goodness sakes, man. It's so stupid. Like, even if we don't sign him, I want to see him on a field somewhere. He's got too much talent not to be on a team somewhere. It's ridiculous just to think otherwise. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Bears will be 9 or 10 win range. Maybe. Depends on your new quarterback, buddy. Depends on your new quarterback. We'll see how you do, broski. Best of luck to your Bears. Alright, man. I gotta get out of here, man. I got stuff to do. I got work. So. But, yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. Day 1, wrapping up. Day 2 coming in hot. About the same time, pretty much. 1 to 3. You know, we gonna lock this time period in, I think. You know. For the next week or so. Like I said, I'll be in Charlotte for the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So I'll be doing live streams from Charlotte on the 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then I'll come back home and we'll be regular schedule again. Alright, guys. It has been a pleasure. You guys know where to find me. Right here. Check out my Instagram handle, my Facebook group page. You know, you guys know the deal. It's been a pleasure. Stay happy, healthy, and well. And let's get out of here, man. From the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousness. And the crowd said, keep pounding. Peace. Shout out to Marcos Cash. Shout out to Castor Brown. Shout out to Broski Bear. Shout out to David Screws. Shout out to Donna B. Shout out to BT. Peace, guys. Keep pounding.